Welcome to NACTV Reads the News. My name is Cathy McGrath, and I'm one of many volunteers that help create programming for our station. NACTV can be seen on MTS Channel 30 or 1030, Westman Cable Channel 17, Bell Satellite Channel 592, or online at nactv.tv. These programs are made possible by our volunteers, staff, advertisers, as well as donations made by you, the viewers. If you are enjoying your NACTV experience, please consider supporting us by either donation or volunteering. You can contact our office at 204-476-2639 or at nactv@wcgwave.ca. And today's edition of the Neepawa Banner and Press is for Friday, September 20th, 2024. And it was a very busy weekend in Neepawa. Neepawa is everything for everyone all at once. To say that Neepawa was a hub of activity on Sunday, September 15th, feels like an understatement. Between 12 p.m. and 4 p.m., there were several notable events that took place. Those festivities included the annual Terry Fox Run, a wreath-laying ceremony at the Cenotaph for the start of National Legion Week, the inaugural Neepawa's Got Pride event, the Walk With Us fundraiser, and the NACI Tigers football team's home opener. All those events were covered by the Banner and Press, and all of those details can be found inside this week's edition. And pictured are the Terry Fox Run, the walk With Us, the football game, the Legionnaires, and the Pride presentation. So, Neepawa supports Terry Fox Run by Owen Devereaux. And pictured cancer survivors and their families, friends, and other loved ones participated in Neepawa's annual Terry Fox Run on Sunday, September 15th. No matter the distance, no matter the obstacles, no matter the journey, no matter the odds, no matter what. It's been 44 years since Terry Fox and his Marathon of Hope inspired a nation. That powerful inspiration was still on full display in Neepawa on Sunday, September 15th, with an estimated 100+ participants involved in the annual Terry Fox Run. Each year in September, communities across Canada and around the world assemble to raise money for cancer research and celebrate the memory of Fox and his Marathon of Hope. Since its inception, the Terry Fox Foundation has reported that the runs have raised a total of $900 million. Those contributions have led to innovations in care and collaborations among scientists working to find a cure for the disease. The theme for this year's event is No Matter What, which captures the persistence and strength of character Terry himself showcased every single day during his cross-country journey. He proceeded forward one step at a time, no matter what. Neepawa's legacy of support lives on. Local run coordinator Dr. Kelly Krasaniak said Neepawa should be very proud of its contribution to the cause. She said that over the years, a combined $200,000+ has been raised locally to support the Terry Fox Foundation. It's awesome to see that people still keep coming out and supporting the run each year, noted Dr. Krasaniak. Cancer affects basically every family. We've all felt its impact, and I believe that's why the Terry Fox Run has such staying power. Neepawa's Terry Fox Run began at 2 p.m. at the Neepawa Area Collegiate Institute track. Among the crowd were cancer survivors, identified by their red shirts, and many runners who dedicated their efforts to loved ones affected by the disease. Those in red shirts are given balloons to release just before the start of the event to signify them overcoming their battles with cancer. The setup for the Terry Fox Run involved runners, walkers, and bikers beginning their 5K journey at the running track. After one complete lap around the track, they then traveled to the DQ checkpoint before returning to the track to complete the day. This year's final tally for the Terry Fox Run in Neepawa was still being tabulated, but Dr. Krasaniak is optimistic about the level of support. I don't have the final numbers just yet, but from the look of it, we have just over 100 participants. This has been a very good year, and we're very optimistic about what the final numbers could be. Those results will appear in a future edition of the Banner and Press. The annual Terry Fox Run is held in commemoration of Fox, who lost his leg to cancer at the age of 18 and set off in 1980 to run across the country and raise money for cancer research. Fox ran an average of 42 kilometers daily for 143 days. He, however, had to cut the run short on September 1st, 1980, because the cancer returned in his lungs. In total, he had traveled 5,373 kilometers. Fox died on June 28, 1981. And Looking Back by Casper Werhan. 125 years ago, Saturday, September 16th, 1899. As foreshadowed in the press on Wednesday, R.C. Ennis has sold his agricultural implement business to the Crawford Company. The corner warehouse is included in the deal. The watchmaker, who located in the Rogers block, must have got weary waiting for something to turn up, for he got up and left yesterday, giving no intimation of his intentions for the future. Brickwork on the new Union Bank building is completed, and with the addition of the roof work on the interior will proceed speedily so that it may be occupied by October 15th. 100 years ago, September 1924. McCreary. Did anybody hear about the fellow who was east to shoot ducks on Monday, and after he got them to shore, they proved to be fat mud hens? Note, mud hens, also known as poudreau or the American coot, is a type of bird that is only distantly related to ducks. They are apparently known for getting mistaken as being ducks. McCreary. Did everyone hear of the Reducing Club, which starts Friday? All those overweight are prospective members. We expect a large membership to join up. All those that are very thin are requested to attend so that it may get fatter. It is a poor thing that don't work both ways. The club is for ladies only, kind of one-sided. McCreary. R. Burns again started a bakery in the building adjoining R. Doucette's store. We were glad to see him start again and hope the trade in his line may be good. Norgate. Another old and respected pioneer passed away last Monday morning in the person of Thomas Hills. Mr. Hills was in his 78th year and was active and strong up to a few months ago when rheumatism and other complications set in. He and family came to Norgate from Grand Valley, Ontario about 22 years ago. Deceased was a great hunter and trapper years ago, but had made beekeeping his hobby of late years. Many friends and relatives attended the funeral held from the church on Wednesday afternoon. The remains were laid to rest in Kelwood. Riding Mountain. The blacksmith shop is not running for want of a blacksmith. 75 years ago, 1949. With the crowded condition of the collegiate this year, the Neepawa School Board decided they would have to remodel the ventilating system, which has not been working satisfactorily. The board had Mr. E. Fitzmunn, the school architect, look over the building with a view to enlarging it by 2 additional rooms. This Mr. Fitzmunn estimated might cost $35,000. The board decided to proceed with plans for construction of a 4-room primary school and auditorium on the site already acquired, immediately south of the present playgrounds in Block 2. The auditorium will be on the ground floor and of a size to take care of the needs of an additional 6 rooms at a time when the present central school can no longer be used. 50 years ago, 1974. The Manitoba Housing and Renewal Corporation has informed the Administrative Committee of the Yellowhead Manor that completion date of the construction will be October 15th. Hainstock's Menswear was officially opened Friday morning with a ribbon-cutting ceremony. And pictured up here, Around this time in 1974, the grand opening of Mar Fashions, as well as Hainstock's menswear, were being celebrated. Those shown in the photo are Carol Stewart, manager, with clerks Arlie Kasprick, Catherine Holmstrom, and Furl Owen, Maurice Marr, proprietor, and Mayor Fred Barker. Those conducting the ribbon cutting for Hainstocks, in addition to Mayor Barker, were Harvey Evner, the manager, Ann Lee, clerk, and Clay Hainstock. 20 years ago, 2004, the site of the former Hamilton Hotel may not go up for tax sale after all. Neepawa Mayor Bob Durston said while he doesn't have definite confirmation, he's heard a sale of the empty lot may be in the works. And at the theater, Cops and Robbers was one of the featured films in September 1974 with Cliff Gorman and Joseph Bologna and Cops and Robbers. And Right in the Center by Ken Waddell, Just Waiting for Them to Die. It's not uncommon to have to wait many months or even a year for a CT scan or an MRI. Even an ultrasound can take a long time. In spite of all the valiant efforts of healthcare workers, doctors, nurses, and specialists to provide timely diagnostics and treatment, the system is faltering and even failing. The ultimate fallback position in healthcare in Manitoba seems to be just wait until they die, and it's happening. People are dying while waiting for timely diagnostics and treatment. There's lots of blame to spread around, but it is mostly due to a hidebound system in Manitoba that clings to the idea that the government has to pay for, ration out, and control all things healthcare. It isn't that way in all provinces. In Manitoba, you can't buy a CT scan, for example. That's because the bureaucracy has the politicians convinced that privately paid for health care is in contravention of the Canada Health Act. That's obviously bull. But it seems no party or politician has the courage to step out and state the obvious. If you can buy privately provided diagnosis in Alberta, and dare I say Quebec, why can't we do it in Manitoba? So what does it cost to get a CT scanner like the one many are asking to be put in Neepawa's new regional hospital? Here's what the province of Manitoba said in a news release about the recently installed CT unit at Swan River. The province provided more than $2 million in capital funding for the purchase and installation of the new CT scanner, as well as renovations of a space at the healthcare facility. This was matched by a contribution of more than $1 million from the town of Swan River and surrounding communities. The province will also provide funding for the operating costs of the CT scanner, approximately $400,000 per year. So, $3 million for the unit? It's interesting to note that an internet search says that you can buy a CT unit for $300,000. That makes sense. Everything the government buys is at double or triple what it should cost. Here's another telling bit of information. Over 6,000 Canadian trained doctors work in the United States, while only 800 US trained doctors work in Canada. That means Canada has paid for a share of the training of over 6,000 doctors, but they all left and only 800 came in. That's a bad deal that even a bureaucrat should be able to figure out. The relatively newly elected NDP government says they are running short of money, and that likely is true. They have cancelled some projects and certainly show no progress on diagnostics and treatment. The answer is obvious, and that is to open the big grey doors on those buildings that house the bureaucracy and let private investment build diagnostic and treatment capacity. Manitobans are driving to Grafton and Grand Forks, North Dakota, and reportedly getting tests done in a week or less. Why can't we do that in Manitoba? Because it's easier to just wait for them to die than to break out of stupidly reasoned traditions. Manitoba is so hidebound in mediocrity and tradition that it's not only killing innovation, it's killing people. Let private investment for an MRI, CT scan, or any other equipment that will improve the health of our people. Not only will people die with the just wait for them to die method, the province and its healthcare system will die as well. People have money. let them invest it. Many years ago, a man I knew was desperate to get his wife the back surgery she badly needed. They were told by their Manitoba specialist that she could be wheelchair-bound before she would get the surgery in Manitoba. The man put a mattress in their minivan, drove her to the Mayo Clinic, and she had her surgery within 3 days. She recovered and went back to work on the family farming business. One neighbor noted that the farmer usually bought a new combine every few years, but wouldn't be able to do that now. The farmer's answer was direct. He said, "I don't care if I never have another new combine. I have my wife back." Let's turn to private investment. Even if it's just in diagnostics, we have nothing to lose but a few bureaucrats who will be proven wrong very quickly. Excuse me. Home Buddies by Rita Friesen. After apple picking. This line is from a poem by that title written by Robert Frost, one of my all-time favorite poets. I had not thought of his words, images, and phrases for too long. As I processed countless apples from the tree in my backyard, processed with gratitude, may I add, bits of this writing came to mind. Those thoughts nickled around until I went and found my copy of some of his works and sank deep into the cadence and meaning of After Apple Picking. And there's a barrel that I didn't fill. Beside it there may be 2 or 3 apples that I didn't pick upon some bough. The images of apple picking are paralleled to aging and death. Looking back, I also see barrels unfilled and apples missed. I am thankful for all that I have and all that I am. There have been missed opportunities. My instep arch not only keeps the ache, it keeps the pressure of the ladder round. I feel life. I carry the feel long after the event has passed. The pressure of life and living has formed aspects of my nature and personality. I feel the genes that formed me, industry, integrity, a thirst for knowledge, an awareness of the Creator and all creation and responsibility. Those are just some of the formative forces. For I have had too much of apple picking. I am overtired of the great harvest I myself desired. There were 10,000 fruits to touch, cherish in hand, lift down and not let fall. For all that struck the earth, no matter if not bruised or spiked with stubble, went surely to the cider apple heap, as if no worth. Amen. As careful as we are, as careful as I am in living, there are slips and regrets. I wish no apple on the apple cider heap. These are the thoughts of the poet as he prepares for a night's rest, recapping the day, reflecting and anticipating rest. One can see what will trouble this sleep of mine, whatever sleep it is. Were he not gone, the woodchuck would say whether it's like his long sleep, as I describe its coming on, or just some human sleep. Excuse me. It's the end of September, and if all goes as it should, October will follow. 1 year ago, I bid farewell to a good man who loved me well, as I loved him for 6 years. 10 years ago in October, I bid farewell to a good man who loved me well, as I loved him for 40 years. I see the beauty of the autumn season. I see the changing of the landscapes, losing its lushness and preparing for a prolonged rest. I see and feel the impending winter, even while adoring each day. I refer to September and October as my season of solemnity, not overly sad, more introspective and reflective, and thankful, so thankful for the abundant harvest of apples, experiences and happenings of ordinary living, aware always of the bruised apples destined for apple cider, ready for the long sleep, but neither longing for nor looking for it. The tree has more treasures. Excuse me. Tips for Teachers, Part 3, Faithfully Yours by Neil Stroschein. One of my high school science teachers posted a sign above the blackboard in his homeroom. It contained one word, thimpk. The spelling mistake was intentional. It got the students' attention. It also conveyed a message they needed to hear. I was privileged to take several classes from this teacher during my junior high and high school years. What I remember most was how he encouraged us to think, to plan ahead, to consider the consequences of possible actions before making decisions, and especially to learn how to recognize and solve potential problems before they became crises that threaten the health and well-being of ourselves and others. I will never forget one specific lesson in which he showed us how sound scientific research, careful thought, and decisive action address the effects of one of the worst natural disasters Western Canada has ever known. He began by asking if any of us have heard of the dirty 30s. Of course we all had. Most of our parents had been born and raised in those years, and we were living with the frugalities they imposed on us, all intended, as they said, to help us save money so that we wouldn't have what we needed to see through times of job loss, extended illness, or other tragedy. While our teacher applauded those efforts, he wanted us to focus on something. Over the next 2 to 3 weeks, we are introduced to concepts like crop rotation, green manure, using natural fertilizers, of which our cattle and pig produce tons each year, and leaving straw on the land after harvest to assist in soil conservation and improve soil quality. We were also introduced to federal government programs like Prairie Farm Rehabilitation, Administration, PFRA, and others that were specifically set up to help prairie farmers rebuild their farms, their businesses, and their lives. I wasn't aware of the impact these lessons had on my life until last week, when I was struggling to get a newly purchased piece of hardware to work on my computer. There was nothing wrong with the hardware itself. I plugged it in, the computer recognized it, the required driver was installed, and it passed all diagnostic tests. But it wouldn't work for one specific application. And I needed the hardware to work so the app would work properly. The solution turned out to be quite simple. I was exceedingly happy to see how everything, once connected properly, worked properly. I was exceedingly unhappy when I learned it took me 4.5 hours to discover that simple 15-second fix. Looking back, I wonder how much time I wasted because I didn't take time to think before I acted. Today's students face peer pressures, temptations, and challenges that were unknown to my generation, but we share one thing in common with today's students. Parents, grandparents, teachers, and other caregivers are not omnipresent. We cannot be everywhere at once. In fact, most of today's students will have more unsupervised time at a far younger age than we ever did. That's why it is very important that they learn as early in life as they can to do what my science teacher subtly taught us to do, think. Actually to think before we act, to consider the possible consequences of our actions, and then decide if we want to adopt this attitude or exchange in this activity. I had dedicated teachers who did this for me. I pray that today's students will have dedicated teachers who will do the same thing for them. And Faith and Family by Tara Kaunhofen. Babies don't keep. A few weeks ago, our 8-month-old hardly slept. We were talking every hour, on the hour, screaming inconsolably. The combination of sleep deprivation and desperation had my husband and I snapping at each other. Tears rolling down my cheeks, I said to him, "I wish you would just grow out of this so we can sleep already." Well, lo and behold, I very quickly ate my words, because the very following week, we began hitting milestone after milestone. Mastering new skills each day until my husband looked at me wistfully watching him play. He said, "Why does he look so big all of a sudden?" My stomach sank as I thought back to the moments I wished away because exhaustion got the better of me. I had wished him bigger. Then I blinked and it was so. He was sleeping through the night, crawling on all fours instead of the sweet army crawl he had been sporting for months now. The odd babble that we had found so endearing was replaced by very specific sounds that mimicked his older brother's chatter. He was pulling himself on furniture and slowly teetering forward into stepping motion that, before I know it, will inevitably turn into walking to keep up with 3 older brothers. I sat and watched him, and this poem whispered across my heart. Cleaning and scrubbing can wait till tomorrow, for babies grow up. We've learned to our sorrow. So quiet down cobwebs, dust go to sleep. I'm rocking my baby, and babies don't keep. It had also looked with looked around with tears filling my eyes, watching my 4 sons, and realized once again just how true this was. Knowing that I would forget again just how quickly time goes by, I willed myself to sit in this moment. I held my 8-month-old and looked him in the eyes as he looked up at me with such pure love. I soaked in my 9-year-old's boyish features, his dimples that grew deeper every year that passed, my 7-year-old's sweet gap-toothed grin and blue eyes that still filled with wonder when his dad played tricks on him. My 3-year-old's floppy, sun-bleached hair laughing in pure delight as his contagious toddler giggles filled our home and brought us all to our knees gasping for breath. My husband and I made the decision that day to remind each other often how quickly our household will grow from boys to men, from mama to mum, from crawling into the safety of our bed to handling it on their own, from us being their favorite people in the world to their horizons expanding beyond our home, and to soak in every second we can with them while they are little. If you have little ones at home, or teenagers, or in-betweeners, or toddlers that make you want to pull your hair out, the dishes will wait. Your children will never be this age on this day again. They will only grow older and bigger. So dishes be quiet, dust go to sleep. I'm soaking in my babies, and babies don't keep. And thumbs up, thumbs down. A huge thumbs up to our local Neepawa RCMP detachment. Their efforts to support our facility and staff when requested speaks volumes to their commitment to our community and the people in it. Over the course of the last year, we have called on them a few times for various reasons, and their willingness to help is so much appreciated. They have gone above and beyond a few times, and it certainly doesn't go unnoticed. And that is thumbs up from the staff at Neepawa Hospital. And a thumbs down. I just want to tell Mr. Waddell that when you live in the country on rural route mail service, you do not have a choice. Many of us would have preferred to receive our mail in a box in town. We could not do so because we were told there was not enough boxes in town for us and are for town people. I have just another comment. It's too bad that there was 2 walks for good causes on the same Sunday. Terry Fox Walk has been on that Sunday for many years. The Us campaign was also a good cause. Too bad people had to choose which way to walk. From Bernice Baker. And a thumbs up. I really appreciate the articles on 2 of the many events that are occurring on Sunday, September 15th. The Walk With Us campaign and the local Pride celebration are very worthy causes. From Jim Krasaniak. And out of Helen's kitchen, she refers to kids' lunch pails and ideas for nourishing snacks, raisin orange bars, and applesauce cookies. And the recipes are here in the paper. Burnout epidemic, the silent struggle in today's workforce. Your listening ear by Delcy Martin. Editor's note, Delcy Martin was a contributing columnist for the Banner and Press in 2022 and 2023. After a hiatus, Delcy will be returning to write a column focused on mental wellness on a semi-regular basis. Banner and Press welcomes Delcy back. Delcy Martin is a registered social worker working out of the Wellness Clinic in Brandon. She can be reached at dmartin@wellnessclinicbrandon.ca. Greetings everyone, and I'm so happy to be back and writing again. The break that I took, although longer than expected, was necessary to prevent burnout, an important topic that doesn't get enough attention. Burnout is a state of complete mental, emotional, and physical exhaustion that is caused when we take on too much. Burnout is characterized by many symptoms such as chronic exhaustion, a lack of interest or detachment from your personal or work life, and a chronic feeling of overwhelm. According to the Center for Addictions and Mental Health, CAMH, stress and burnout are related but present very differently. Stress presents as someone being overreactive and hyperactive, whereas burnout presents as disengagement and a loss of motivation. If you notice that you are experiencing symptoms of burnout, ask yourself the following questions. Is there anything in my life that I can temporarily step away from? Is there anything I can give up entirely? Is there anything that I can do less than perfectly. Is there anything that I can delegate? You will want to withdraw from the world. This is a normal feeling, but it's the last thing you should do. Reach out and seek connection. Make sure that you are socializing with your coworkers. It helps it feel less like you are isolated. Exercise is important to boost your mood. I'm not saying that you must start a regular gym routine today, but even a 15-minute walk on your break can make a huge difference. Make a list of what you like about your job. Review that list every morning before you go to work. Sometimes our brains only show us the negative things about our jobs, and we selectively forget what is good. Most importantly, seek out help from a qualified counselor. They will help you prioritize, minimize, and put your mental health first. We want to feel like superheroes and take on everything. We don't want to disappoint anyone. We want to live up to our fullest potential. These are things that maintain burnout. Society glorifies burnout. Imagine, if you will, someone coming home from work saying, "Man, I worked so hard today. I'm exhausted and I feel like I could drop." This would be applauded by others. We are increasingly connected to the world, and because we have our emails on our phones and phones with us all the time, we don't even get a break after work hours. Overtime is becoming commonplace rather than a rarity. There are lots of things that maintain burnout in our society. What about switching the rhetoric and asking ourselves, what did I do to take care of myself today? Or applauding someone saying, I worked my day today and I didn't work myself to the point of exhaustion. Let's protect one another from burnout. Check in on your friends. Check in on your loved ones. By fostering a culture of balance, self-care, and open dialogue, we can create environments where people can thrive both professionally and personally. And a very happy birthday to you, Annie. Country Meadows resident celebrates her 110th birthday. And pictured, Annie Dobush, formerly of Polonia, celebrated her 110th birthday on Saturday, September 14th at Country Meadows Care Home. Here's Annie, along with a Country Meadows care worker, receiving her cake as part of the celebration festivities. Annie Dobush reached a major milestone last weekend at Country Meadows Personal Care Home in Neepawa, as the former Polonia resident celebrated her 110th birthday. A special celebration was held in Annie's honor on Saturday, September 14th, which included cake, coffee, and tea, as well as a musical interlude from singer Mary Costin of Altona. A large contingent of Country Meadows residents attended the festivities to commemorate this special occasion. Born on Monday, September 14th, 1914, Annie has been a resident of Country Meadows since 2018, when she walked through the front doors at a still spry and active 104 years of age. Sierra Wareham of the Activities Department for Country Meadows noted that while Annie is not quite as physically mobile as she was then, she still maintains an energetic day-to-day routine with the staff of Country Meadows and fellow residents. When she came here in 2018, she walked right in. She's in a chair now, but other than that, she's doing great, noted Wareham. And she's very funny, actually. She's funny with the staff, and as well, when her son comes to visit, they'll speak in, I believe, Ukrainian or Polish, and they just talk for the entire visit. Annie's son and grandson were not able to be in attendance for Saturday's festivities. They were, however, scheduled to visit on Sunday, September 15th, to celebrate the birthday in a slightly more low-key manner, with just family in attendance. The Banner and Press was unable to sit down and have a private conversation with Annie on the day, but we do wish her a very happy birthday. Creating small-town vibrancy on a budget. Your Town Rising Unconsultants host seminar in Neepawa. Marilyn Crew, Economic Development Officer, Greg McLaughlin, and Leslie Fournier, Your Town Rising Unconsultants, by Owen Devereaux. Leslie Fournier and Greg McLaughlin want you to know when it comes to revitalizing your communities downtown, it's okay to start small. The duo, who are business partners in Your Town Rising, held a seminar in Neepawa on Thursday, September 12th. Your Town Rising is a marketing initiative geared towards assisting small towns that don't have abundant resources to put into a strategic plan of action. In essence, they help communities with only a little money make it a big change for the better. Touring the downtown consultation. Before the evening's consultation began, however, the pair spent the day touring Neepawa and speaking with several local business owners and citizens. They also took pictures of things we're doing right in our downtown sector, as well as things we could be doing better. This fact-finding trip through our community led into the evening's get-together, which was attended by around 20 municipal and business leaders. Ideas aplenty for downtown. The 90-minute session was broken down into two parts. First, Greg McLaughlin explained Your Town Rising's previous experiences assisting other communities across Ontario and Manitoba. Next, he offered a few suggestions for building upon Neepawa's existing strengths, primarily that of the High Life Back 40 bike trail. McLaughlin suggested cycling could be the anchor concept for downtown businesses and buildings to express themselves. As well, he said, there's an excess of gray in the downtown in regard to blank concrete sidewalks and dull walls. McLaughlin said even a basic splash of color on a doorway or a flower planter in front of a local business can create some contrast at a low cost. The suggestion that garnered everyone's attention for its outside-the-box thinking was connected to Neepawa's new viewing towers. McLaughlin stated something as simple as the Neepawa Paper Airplane Championship could be such a unique idea to the community that it could generate interest from across Canada. It's a concept that's been done nowhere else in Canada, making it something that would make Neepawa stand out in the crowd. After his portion of the presentation, the Banner and Press spoke with McLaughlin on some of the ideas. He noted too many communities get bogged down in doing things the way they've always been done. We have to see things differently because we have conditioned over the years to think it's about big consultants and big events that take a lot of money and time and planning. There are smaller, more affordable ways to do things and do it in a way that is unique, said McLaughlin. All solutions aren't expensive. You can create something on a shoestring budget. And when we were touring Neepawa, we could see that you get it. The artist benches and the mural project that you have are a tremendous start, but you have to ask, what's step 2, step 3 to make something even better? And that's where we come up with just one more activation around it and making it more. No need to overthink it. The second half of the session featured Leslie Fournier discussing easy ideas that every business can do at very little cost. She said it can be as simple as a few vibrant colors on a wall that's currently just beige or gray. As well, putting out a basic but colorful planter, updating signs in fun ways, and adding seating where people can gather can make a difference and doesn't have to be expensive. Fournier noted that using materials that are donated or already available can be an easy, inexpensive way to add creativity. Something even as basic as taking old real estate and political signs and painting and cutting into shapes to be turned into public display, she said, can look really neat and give your downtown instant public art. Fournier told the Banner and Press that all it takes is just one business to see value in the concept and creating a space that stands out. She said when they do, it's a positive for themselves and for their community at large. To go along with the physical changes to downtown businesses, Fournier and McLaughlin stressed the importance of being an ambassador for Neepawa on social media. They cited posting something colorful or creative they see on Instagram. They specifically noted Instagram as opposed to Facebook because Instagram is a social media platform that emphasizes photo and video sharing via its mobile app, while Facebook is structured as a more closed circle whose messages will not reach as broad of a collective. No excuses. Neepawa's Economic Development Officer, Marilyn Crew, noted that the session with Your Town Rising brought forward a lot of interesting ideas. The ideas that they showed us, there is no excuse to not be able to take on some part of that, whether it's adding a flag to the front of the store or adding some fall decor along your doorway, something to make people feel welcome. It doesn't have to be expensive or daunting. If every business does one little thing, it adds up pretty quickly, said Crew. Additional details on Your Town Rising can be found on their website, www.yourtownrising.com. And pictured on the lower right is Showcase Your Themes Downtown. Many small projects play an important part in revitalization and adding vibrancy. The slide highlights one of the avenues Neepawa could pursue to add more vibrancy to downtown, and it's got a bicycle theme. An amazing difference. Former Neepawa resident Veronica Gingles speaks at Neepawa's Got Pride. And pictured are Rianne Beaver, Neepawa and Area Pride President on the left, with special guest Veronica Gingles on the right. By Casper Warehan. Neepawa's Got Pride was met with a warm welcome on September 15th as LGBT plus community members, guests, and allies gathered to enjoy the afternoon. Organized by Neepawa and Area Pride, this event is first of its kind to be held in Neepawa. Kicking off the afternoon's festivities at 1 p.m. were a set of opening comments which marked the importance of the occasion. We are very excited and humbled by everyone being here today. Today is a milestone for Neepawa and the LGBT plus people of the community, said Neepawa and Area Pride President Rianne Beaver. We are excited to have the opportunity to create an environment where all are welcome, and the effort of our allies is an invaluable part of that. Every little bit matters, and I guarantee has had a positive impact on those who need it. Daryl Gerard, on behalf of the town of Neepawa, added, "It's great to see our community on full display as being a safe and accepting place to be, and accepting all as they are meant to be. We hope this is an annual event with many more years to come." Change is good. A particular special portion of the opening ceremonies, however, was a speech from a special guest, Veronica Gingles. Gingles is a comedian, producer, and public speaker who is currently from Winnipeg, but was formerly from Neepawa. Gingles lived in Neepawa for many years prior to beginning her journey of transitioning. During her speech, Gingles shared some of her personal experience. The following details are a portion of her presentation. "It's amazing the difference 10 years makes. Wow! If we had Pride 10 years ago, I would still be a Neepawa resident," said Gingles. "I came out to the world as transgender on October 1st, 2014. It went not bad, but I lost a lot of friends, and I left town because I no longer felt welcome here. And it's nice to see a change like this. As Daryl said, I hope this is the first of many Pride events for Neepawa." Gingles explained that transgender people are one of the most misunderstood, ridiculed, and oftentimes hated groups of people on the planet, and that part of the purpose of her speech, in addition to sharing her story, was to explain why she left Neepawa. Gingles' story begins when she was quite young, knowing at the age of 3 that she was transgender. "I knew when I was 3 years old that the body I had was not the body I was supposed to have. I brought it up with my mother when I was about 3, and I was told, 'No, no, no, don't be silly, you're a boy. Boys can't be girls,'" Gingles explained. "Well, sex and gender are not the same thing. Your sex is your body parts, your gender is in your head. It's a brain thing." Gingles added, "Most people, your brain and your body agree with each other. In trans people, our brains and our bodies don't agree with each other. And I had for 51 years because I was scared of the reaction I was going to get. When I came out, it was a year and a half after my wife passed away, and the feeling I got from people was, 'Poor guy, first he lost his wife and now he's lost his mind.' I didn't lose my mind. I'm finally expressing what was in my head. And like I said, I had to move. I didn't feel welcome. I didn't feel safe in this town. So this is exciting to see. Change is good. Change is really good." Newfound confidence. Internally, the difference for Gingles began after beginning her transition was a significant positive. "When I moved to the city, within a week I got up on stage and tried stand-up comedy for the very first time. One of the first things transitioning gave me is self-esteem, something I'd never had in my life," said Gingles. "It's an amazing change. One friend made me cry on Facebook post. I'd posted the old picture of myself against a new picture of myself after I transitioned, and she said 7 words that brought me to tears. 'The sadness in your eyes is gone.' and that hit home. Gingles shared that she later came out to her mum again, who was 79 at the time, and showed her some pictures from a photo album, both pre-transition and post-transition. She flipped through the pictures, and then she flipped through them a second time and said, "Those pictures tell me more than any words can say." I said, "What do you mean?" And she said, "I've never seen you smile in a photograph, ever," said Gingles. "All the pictures now I'm smiling," she said. That explains it all. So I had the support of most of my family. I was worried. Coming out is scary." Gingles added, "People say a lot of trans people regret their transition or they regret their surgeries. Nope, it's about 1% of trans people who will regret transitioning. Trans people don't generally detransition, and those that do, I know two who transitioned. They detransitioned because they hate they received from people and they couldn't deal with it anymore. For myself, it's the best thing I've done with my whole life. I'm so much happier now." Following her remarks, Gingles thanked Neepawa for the opportunity to share her story and closed out the opening speeches with some comedy, sparking laughter and smiles. Then, with opening ceremonies done, the afternoon gave way to face painting, barbecued food, games, and drag performances by locals MX Dion and Melkita, as well as Flora Hex of Brandon. All were also welcome to enjoy a movie at the Roxy Theatre at 4:30 p.m. after primary festivities for the day concluded. And there is a picture down here, a portion of the crowd who attended Neepawa's Got Proud. Excuse me. Home Hardware sponsors new trees in Neepawa by Owen Devereaux. And pictured representatives from the town of Neepawa, Neepawa's Home Hardware Building Centre, and Tree Canada combined to plant around 60 new trees throughout the community this year, including a dozen along the Park Lake pathway leading to the bird sanctuary. New trees are in the ground throughout Neepawa thanks to the efforts of Tree Canada, the town of Neepawa, and our own local Home Hardware. Around 60 trees, including a dozen along the pathway to Park Lake Bird Sanctuary, were planted on Monday, September 17th. They were purchased through a $3,800 grant provided by Home Hardware and are being installed by the town's maintenance and park staff. These trees are purchased through the Tree Canada, who are a national non-profit organization dedicated to planting and nurturing trees in rural and urban environments. To date, the group, along with local community partners, have planted more than 85 million trees. Ken Fosty, the representative from Tree Canada, was in Neepawa for the tree planting and said they are happy to partner with Home Hardware in the town on these types of endeavors. "I am pleased to be here today to recognize a grant for $3,800 for tree planting efforts from Neepawa Home Hardware Building Centre," said Fosty. "The trees we're planting here today will provide multiple benefits, including shade, shelter, aesthetic beauty, wildlife habitat, and clean air." On behalf of Tree Canada, I would like to thank Neepawa Home Hardware and the town of Neepawa for making this planting event possible. Fosty added that on a national level, Home Hardware has been a tremendous partner for over 27 years, and that locally, Neepawa has also been extremely supported for well over a decade. Michelle Gerard, owner-operator of the Neepawa Home Hardware Building Centre, noted that they are very proud to partner with Tree Canada and the town of Neepawa in planting all these trees. She added this will be a benefit to the community for generations to come. It's so easy to participate in the program, and the Tree Canada is such a good partner. The town of Neepawa as well has been such a good partner, assisting with the planting for us, said Gerard. As for future support, Gerard noted that in the 10-plus years Neepawa Home Hardware has been involved in the program, it is focused primarily on Neepawa. She said next year they would like to expand the reach. I think next year we're probably looking at outside of the town of Neepawa, perhaps giving another community an opportunity to replenish and create some tree cover. So we'll be looking at doing that in some future and helping in so many communities as we can. Gladstone Market Report by Tyler Slowinski. As the good weather continues, harvest progress continues across the prairies. While producers are busy wrapping up haying, combining, and silaging, there are still an abundance of cattle to market this week. We sold 991 cattle through the ring and on a video sale in Gladstone on September 17th. When it comes to market cattle this time of year, it takes volume to start assembling loads of similar cattle to start filling orders and pens in feedlots. The market this week was fairly active, although negative cattle future had a bearing on impact on certain spots. Throughout the sale this week, supply and demand is definitely supporting the cattle market. The market saw a variety of cattle, yearlings, and wet-nosed calves, with ample supply of cows and bulls once again. Cows traded with plenty of strength from 165 to 185 with steady averages. Bulls traded with ease ranging between 210 and 224.25. All classes of cattle sold well. Plainer type cattle are still being discounted. Here are a few market highlights from September 17th sale. Red steers weighed 464 and brought 515. Black steers weighed 618 and brought 403. Black steers weighed 761 and brought 359. And a set of black yearling steers weighed 890 and they traded for 336.75. Heifers, tan heifers, weighed 521 and traded for 373. Black heifers weighed 667 and brought 331. Crossbred heifers weighed 716 and brought 320. And a top-notch set of mixed yearling heifers that weighed 823 and they brought 308.50. Love and Support on the Langford Trail by Casper Warehan pictured the Langford walking trails were a hot spot of activity as approximately 90 people turned out to support the Walk With Us campaign, many of whom can be seen in the group photo at the top of the page. Bottom photo, members of the walking group enjoying the fresh air and scenery at various points throughout the afternoon walk. Sunny weather favored a number of events in and around Neepawa this past Sunday. One of those many events was the 5th edition of the annual Walk With Us campaign. This event has been organized each year by the Cox family after Brandy and Will's son Logan was born and diagnosed with Down syndrome 5 years ago. Traditionally, it has been raising funds for the Manitoba Down Syndrome Society. This year, funds were more locally focused, with all donations going to Touchwood Park in support of the accessible playground. This event has been well supported year over year, with 2024 being no exception. Out participating in the walk on the Langford walking trails were a grand total of approximately 90 adults and youth. Another year and another amazing turnout, Brandy enthused. Since day one, our community, family, and friends have shown so much love and support for Logan, and it continues to show year after year. We are forever grateful. As of an official report from Brandy on the evening of September 17th, a grand total of funds raised was $4,922. Thanks is extended to all who helped make the day a success. And the Assiniboine College announces Alumni Awards, 3 recipients named in Neepawa, Banner, and Press area. Pictured here are 4 Alumni Award recipients for 2024 who will be honored at a banquet in October. From left to right, Andrea Epp, Brandon, Brian McCannell, Neepawa, Danielle Tischett, Brandon, and Robert Esslinger of Verdun. 3 individuals in the Neepawa, Banner, and Press coverage area will be honored by Assiniboine College, formerly Assiniboine Community College, next month. Last week, the Assiniboine Alumni Association officially declared the recipients of its 2024 Alumni Awards via press release, with a total of 4 awards set to be presented at the college's advancement dinner on October 24th. The area alumni named are primarily based in Neepawa, 1, and Brandon, 2, and a 4th recipient hailing from Verdun. Those named were Brian McCannell, One to Watch Award. This award recognizes graduates who have made exceptional achievements and significant contributions to their profession and community since graduation. McCannell graduated from the Peters School of Business in 2008 and entered the field of financial services after serving as an intern with the RBC while pursuing an education at Assiniboine College. McCannell has worked in a number of roles with RBC over the years and is currently a private banker. His work sees him working with a number of clients throughout Western Manitoba. Andrea Epp Distinguished Alumni. This award recognizes alumni who have excelled in their chosen professions and made significant contributions to their communities. Andrea Epp, LLB, is a lawyer and owner of the Epp Law Office, which opened in 2020. Epp graduated with a business administration diploma in 1997, and in addition to practicing law in Brandon and Carberry since 2009, has served on the board of the Manitoba Bar Association, YWCA, BRHC Foundation, Brandon and Area Community Foundation, and the Brandon Chamber of Commerce throughout her years. Currently, she is a member of the Crime Stoppers Board, the Finney Legacy Foundation, and is the chair of Helping Hands in Brandon. Daniel Titchett, Educator of the Year. Titchett joined the Russ Edwards School of Agricultural Environment in 2017. Since then, Titchett has mentored a number of former students and fellow instructors. Outside the classroom, she is a volunteer with the Prairie Certified Crop Advisory Board and Agriculture in her classroom. Agriculture in the Classroom is a program in which kindergarten to grade 12 students learn more about the importance of agriculture, as well as where their food comes from. Robert Esslinger, Distinguished Alumni Award. Robert Esslinger, CPA, CGA, and CFO of RF Now, Inc., is a graduate of the 1985 class of Business Administration program. He received his professional accounting designation in 1999 and became involved with the Assiniboine Alumni Association in 2015. Esslinger's career has seen him serve in municipal administration as the CAO for Verdun, then to the Mostyn House Group of companies. At the time he joined the Mostyn House, it included Air Andrew Limited, RF Now Inc., Andrew Agencies Limited, and Custom Software Solutions Inc. Esslinger also served as a member of the Prairie Innovation Center Campaign Cabinet. The Neepawa Banner and Press extends congratulations to each of these recipients. The October 24th advancement dinner will be held at the Victoria Inn, with entry tickets available via contacting Alumni Relations Coordinator Amanda Ham by phone at 204-725-8700 using extension 7124. And sports. Titans optimistic about upcoming MJHL season. Hockey club ready to battle in competitive West Division by Owen Devereaux. The Neepawa Titans are going into this year's Manitoba Junior Hockey League, MJHL season, with certain expectations for themselves. The club, who start regular season on Saturday, September 21st with their home opener against the Portage Terriers, are hoping to build upon last year's success. In 2023-24, Neepawa made the playoffs for the first time in 7 years and accumulated its most regular season wins, 28, and points, 57, since their 2009-2010 campaign. Titans head coach and general manager Ken Pearson said, "Well, all that was a great step forward for the franchise. He's optimistic about the potential this year's roster has within them. I think our returning players put in the work in the off-season. You can see it in the difference in terms of their strength in skating. A lot of them has grown as players, and that's what you like to see," said Pearson. On top of that is the mental approach to the game. It's a lot better. The attitude is upbeat, and our returning guys have done a very good job of integrating our young guys into the group, and it's been a fun group to work with so far. The Titans are returning about 15 players from last year's squad, with several more and with some MJHL experience who will definitely crack the lineup on a full-time basis this season. Pearson believes that roster consistency will be a real positive for them forging ahead. He added that with the way forward core is set up, this could be a very fast-paced team with an impressive talent depth down through all 4 lines. Pearson also noted that the returning tandem of Mason LeBrew and Casey Kukut in net will be a real positive. He stated that the team in front of them will play with confidence because they trust both those goaltenders to come up big whenever they're needed. As for what to expect in terms of other teams in the MJHL's West Division, Pearson said it will be a challenge, but he's optimistic about the Neepawa brings to the ice. It'll be tough. The Northern Manitoba Blizzard are going to be good with the group they've assembled. Every in-division game is going to be important, but I feel as though our group can compete with anyone else out there, said Pearson. Last year, making the playoffs was a nice first step, but this is a group that wants to make that next step. They know it's not going to be an easy task, but they are looking forward to it. The Neepawa Titans will begin the MJHL season at home on Saturday, September 21st, when they host the Portage Terriers. Start time at the Yellowhead Center is set for 7:30 p.m. Neepawa Figure Skating Club prepares for the winter. Are you new to Canada? Are you interested in learning one of Canada's favorite pastimes for our long winters? Canadians love to skate, both indoors and outdoors in the winter time. Neepawa is very lucky to have a wonderful facility. The Yellowhead Center, where you can learn to skate. The Neepawa Figure Skating Club organizes and runs a program called Can Skate. The Can Skate program is Canada's best and longest running Learn to Skate program. The well-organized and extensive curriculum is laid out by Skate Canada, introduces a healthy, lifelong sport to kids at any age, whether you want to start a 3-year-old or a 12-year-old, or whether you just want to learn to skate or improve your skating skills. The curriculum for this program is based on Sports Canada's long-term athlete development, LTAD, principles, and was designed with all ice sports in mind. Contrary to popular belief, Can Skate is not a figure skating program. It is a Learn to Skate program. Can Skate teaches the foundation skills that all types of skaters need to be successful in their sport. Whether you want to be a hockey player, a ringette star, a speed skater, a figure skater, or you just want to learn to skate, the Can Skate program teaches the basic skills one needs to learn in order to be able to skate. You learn to balance on your skates by falling down and getting up, doing slalom around pylons, or learning proper forward and backward crossovers. You learn how to be in control on your skates by skating backward, gliding on 1 or 2 feet, and how to stop a variety of different ways. You also learn how to be agile on your feet. Whether you're doing a quick turn, a step turn, turning forward or backward, or glide turns, any type of turn is vital in ice sports, particularly hockey. If you're interested in giving Can Skate a try, come on out for a free session on Friday, October 4th from 6 p.m. to 6:40 p.m. at the Yellowhead Center. If you already know you want to join our Can Skate program, head over to the Neepawa Figure Skating Club's Facebook page and register your child today. Deadline to register is October 28th. NACI Tigers play their home opener versus Swan Valley. Photo by Owen Devereaux. The Neepawa Tigers football team had its home opener on Sunday, September 15th versus the Swan Valley Tigers. Excuse me. In this game, Swan Valley proved to be too strong and blanked Neepawa 59-0. The previous week, Neepawa opens its season on the road against the Neelan Spartans, where they were bested 33-25. The Tigers' next home game is scheduled for September 29th versus the Transcona Nationals. Opening kickoff is at 1 p.m. And the Rotary celebrates the National Day of Service. Photo by John Drinkwater. The Neepawa Rotary Club has recognized the National Day of Service for the past number of years. On Wednesday, September 11th, the club invited members of the local RCMP detachment to recognize them and express thanks in keeping us safe. Pictured left to right, Constable Justin Kafka, Constable Terry Fair, Corporal Jason Peters, Constable Joseph Pazlowski, and Constable Dan Guinard. And another picture, history and culture with Neepawa Settlement. Neepawa Area Settlement Services hosted a presentation of Indigenous history, culture, and contemporary realities on Monday, September 16th. Pictured, settlement staff, speakers, and community residents. And young Japanese hockey player got a start in Neepawa by Ken Waddell. Tommy Yoshiyama of Japan lived with his parents Yama and Anna in Neepawa a few years back when his dad was working at High Life. Tommy loved hockey and began playing in Neepawa. Landon Cameron, a local Neepawa hockey coach, said Tommy played 2 years in the Neepawa minor hockey program, and he coached him in one of those seasons. When the Yoshiyama family lived in Neepawa, they were always at the Yellowhead Center in Neepawa and were huge fans of the minor hockey and the Neepawa Titans Hockey Club. Tommy now plays in the Tokyo Metropolitan Selection U12, and the team recently traveled to Seoul, South Korea, and played friendly matches with strong local teams. For many of the players, it was their first time traveling out of Japan. It was a very valuable opportunity to compete and interact with strong Korean teams. Anna, Tommy's mom, said thank you to the Korean Ice Hockey Association and all the players involved in the tournaments, and Tokyo Metropolitan selected players for their great help. Thank you, Hockey Time, for the broadcast of the game again. We are very grateful to be able to watch the game from Tokyo. And we move on to Neepawa commemorates National Legion Week by Owen Devereux, and pictured members of the Royal Canadian Legion Branch Number 23, the Legion Ladies Auxiliary, and Agassiz MLA Jody Byram were on hand to commemorate the start of National Legion Week on Sunday, September 15th. Ahead of National Legion Week, members of the Royal Canadian Legion Branch 23 hosted a ceremony at the Beautiful Plains County Court Building in Neepawa. The event, held on Sunday, September 15th, including the laying of wreaths in front of the cenotaph by members of our local Legion, as well as the Ladies Auxiliary, Agassiz MLA Jody Byram was also on hand and laid down a wreath out of respect for the organization and its significances to communities across Canada. Started in 2023, National Legion Week returned this September and highlights the contributions of branches across Canada. It also underscores the Legion's commitment to veteran support and welcoming of new members. Legion Week has been observed by individual provincial commands and branches since the 1980s, but last year was the first national observance of the event. Royal Canadian Legion Branch 23 President Kevin Paramore said the local chapter felt very passionate about participating in the festivities and showcases what they were all about. Let people know what the Legion does, how important it is to the community, and get people more aware, noted Paramore. We do lots of community service things. I don't know if enough people really know what the Legion does and what we do for communities. Ladies Auxiliary member Nancy Syntax elaborated on Paramore's remarks, noted they contributed a lot of time and financial support locally in a wide array of ways. It's a very diverse group and one that is hardworking. We do a lot of fundraising for our communities and lots of donations to the community throughout the year. We've donated to the new lacrosse club, Lake Irwin to Wildlife and the Museum and Margaret Lawrence House, plus 2 generous scholarships at NACI. We do a lot of work and we just want people to know what it is and what we're all about, stated Syntax. National Legion Week runs this year from September 15th to the 21st. Everyone is welcome to visit their local Legion to learn more. And finally, fueling good while supporting local initiatives. Photos by Owen Devereux. Co-op was celebrating Fuel Good Days on September 17th. Pictured here are some scenes from the Neepawa Gladstone Co-op gas bar location in Neepawa. The celebrations included a barbecue, members of the Neepawa Titans assisting with pumping gas and cleaning windows, and a 50-50 raffle. Funds raised from the day, including 10 cents from every liter of gas sold and $1 from the sale of select beverages, will benefit the local chapter of Habitat for Humanity. Top left, a local Titan hard at work. The full team present that day can be seen at the far left. Top right, nothing beats a barbecue. Helping Hands cooked up fresh food for all hungry patrons. And left, one of the many Fuel Good Day patrons is paying a visit to the 50-50 table. And that includes the news for Friday, September 20th. I hope you enjoyed it.